Hi, CCY3 students. It's Mrs. Grafe. I am joining you today with a video of subtracting integers. As you can see here on my screen, I have the worksheet from Thursday and Friday last week because over the weekend, probably figuring you didn't do much of math, so this worksheet, which I hope you'll get out, I hope you'll refer to, because that is a key reason we take notes. We take notes so that you can refer back to some of the work we did here. And in part one, I was starting to lead you towards what we would do with subtraction. So for instance here, Anne took away an asset of $200, and that's a bad thing because when we take away, we subtract, and as we can see here, we're subtracting 200. And I want to take a moment to go to what Ernie was doing to remind you that what Ernie did, a lot of people might say is bad, but we want to remember that what Ernie did was good. Said Ernie took away a debt of the negative 5,400 from his net worth. So if we take a look at that, we discussed, I'm trying to move that. Give me one moment here. So if we take away, resuming what I said there about Ernie, I had to pause a second. But if we take away a debt of negative 5,400, that's actually a good thing, because you would love for someone to say, hey, you owe me $10, but never mind. So that really becomes adding a 5,400. So on Friday, I kept asking you to please be sure you're rewriting subtraction as addition. And we did a few parts here. We got part one done. We also did part two, and that really led us into, are you getting what I'm doing here in part three? So take a look at your worksheet. I'm going to remind you, lots of you had number 5 incorrect in part 3 until I said, hey, you need to rewrite that as, all right, we keep, many of you told me about the keep, change, flip. We keep the negative 90, but because we are taking away a debt of $100, that is like adding 100, which in the end gives us a net worth of, take a look, pause me if you need to, rewind me if you need to, all good. That's what's nice about video. That gives us a positive 100, or excuse me, positive 10. Hopefully you caught that. Like, no, gives us a positive 10, because take away 90 off of 100, we're left with 10. We go with an asset of 10 because our asset of 100 is bigger than our debt of negative 90. So for the next few minutes, we're going to take what we learned, and I'm going to ask you to take a few notes right now so you have a couple more examples of subtracting integers that we're going to rewrite into addition. So let me give you one to try to tackle. Let's say I have 10, and we are going to take away 16. So I want you to think of this in terms of debts and assets, keep, change, flip, apply that, and I want you to take a moment, and I want you to pause the screen, and I want you to write this down on your paper, write this into Notability, whatever you want, and try to solve this problem. Start by writing it as addition and coming up with the net worth. So go ahead, tackle it. All right, if you're coming back now, I'm going to talk you through this. So 10 is an asset. We are taking away an asset. So when we take away an asset, good or bad thing? Bad thing. So then I have 10 plus a negative 16, which is bigger, our debt or our asset. Our debt of negative 16 is bigger. So in essence, we're thinking, okay, what's 16? Some of you showed work What's 16 minus 10? We do get 6. But because the debt is bigger, we know this answer is a -6. If you need to rewind that last part, please feel free to rewind that last part. Listen to it again, because now I'm going to get into a different example. Let's say we have a -3, and we are going to subtract from that -3 a 19. So I'm going to let you take a moment, pause this, rewrite it as addition, think of it in terms of debts and assets, put it in your notes. Don't just watch me. If all you do is watch me, you're not going to understand this as well as you trying to do it. So take a moment, pause me, try to do this problem. All right, hopefully you've paused me, you've tried to do this. So we're rewriting the -3, we're keeping that. We're taking away a debt or an asset. Well, we're taking away an asset of 19. That is a bad thing. So we're rewriting this as plus -19. So as I take a look at this CCY3, I'm adding two debts together. If I add two debts together, I get a bigger debt of a -22. If you need to rewind me, listen to that, put that in your notes, and let's do one more today. All right, so the last one I'm going to show you in this video to help you with subtracting of integers is -9 minus a -10. So once again, really important that you try to stop and think. Don't let me do all the thinking for you. That is not helping you. You need to take your mind through the mental exercises. Maybe look at your note sheet and take a moment and try to figure this out. Pause me here and then come back to me. All right, so hopefully you've taken that moment. We have the -9, it's a debt. We are taking away a debt of -10. Is that a good or a bad thing? Do you want someone to take away a debt? Yes, we do. So we change that minus sign and we make it a +10. So in the end, we take the -9 plus 10, we get a +1. So now, guys and gals, we are now going to go back to my Canvas page. And on my Canvas page, you are going to do this first column of subtracting integers, just the first column of the 3. And you're going to go ahead and rewrite each problem from subtraction to addition. If you want to do well in math, you have to be disciplined and you have to try to do what the teacher is asking. If you don't do what I'm asking, you're kind of rolling the dice and hoping you do it correctly. So thanks so much for tuning into my video. I hope you've done the best you could by writing, rewinding at times, maybe raising your hand or working a little bit with your group. If the substitute said that was okay, I really appreciate you guys, and I hopefully will be well enough to be back with you tomorrow. Thanks so much, you guys.